Hi, everyone. We're now recording. Welcome. It is September 16th for today's Topher Spin Meteorites Hangout and chat and show and tell and storytelling and just everything else we got going on. Got a full room of the usual suspects and some new people. So let's just kick it off because we've been visiting with Ron Metchis in we've been checking in on him on his backlit frames over the last few weeks, and he has finished the Esquel. So, Ron, with the new HD camera too.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's going to show some detail. So I finished the frame. I showed you the beginnings of it last week, but here's the final product. Let me see if this will focus in. Should be a little sharper than my other camera. Nice. Are the letters backwards?
No. Nope, they look good.
Okay, good. So yeah, so that's the unlit. And like if I've got a backlit, turn it on here.
Dang.
Oh. And it just, like I said, it lights up.
Wow.
Really nice.
That's crazy.
So it's kind of glary. Can't help that, but it's really nice. It's probably the nicest one so far.
Wow. I love the black frame.
Yeah, I'm calling this Esquel in black after black.
Wow. That's gorgeous, man. Flip it off for 1 second if you would, please.
Sure.
And then put it up close again.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the silly thing to focus. There is a focus adjustment here, but I can't find it. The autofocus sometimes gets a little squirrely. There we go.
There it is.
That's, yeah.
That's crazy beautiful.
Beautiful.
Man.
That was Dawn, by the way. She's a friend of mine.
Hey, welcome to the party, Dawn.
Thank you.
My God, Ron, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it came out really nice. So
yes.
This is my last Pallasite that I have that's frame-worthy. I got some others, the Seracho and some real thick Samchon, but they don't shine very much.
Wow.
But this one is, I think, my best work.
How long did that take you?
Pardon me?
How long did that take you?
Total work, a few hours, but I spaced it over a bunch of days. I do, because I'm retired, I have nothing to do most of the days. So I do a little bit every day. And nice. So I probably put, and this one I did a little faster because I'm getting better at building these things.
Yeah.
The first one took me about a week and a half because I was doing all the engineering. Well, that's all in place now.
Right.
And so basically what I'm doing is I'm doing variations on a theme. Like this one has the opaque white Lexan versus the clear, where I use a piece of paper to do the same job.
Right.
So I've got a little fancier and a little more basic.
And that white piece. That white Lexan was to diffuse the light, so because it's such a high quality piece of Esquel that you would actually see the LED lights through the olivines.
Yes,
it's crazy beautiful, man.
Yeah, so that's my latest creation. They're up on the wall. I've got them. Let me show you. I try to do a little art installation here. Let me put it up here. I'll show you. Let's see. All right, so my telephone going up. So there's the three of them together.
Wow.
Wow. Man cave.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of expensive man cave stuff, but
yeah,
it's fun stuff. It's oh, come on. I can't get the direction right. There we go. I gotta reverse my. There we go. So that's the three of them together.
Dang, that's gorgeous.
Light this one up here.
There you go.
There you go. So I started with this one over here. That's the Admire. I did this one over here. That's the Samchon, and this one is the Esquel. So you see they're roughly the same build, but it's just different variations. Colors.
So that's what you wanted, those little electrical adapter cords. You were having Bob look for.
Yeah, well, I managed to find them on Amazon for a couple of bucks. So,
oh, good. he was calling us saying, "Hey, do you have any of those old ADV electrical, whatever they are?" And that's funny.
So I found these for $8 on Amazon. They're a nice little power supply. It comes with a connector that you can connect to the wires. And it's 12 volts, you know, they're $8, you know, they're cheap. I used to work in electronic, I'm an electrical engineer, was before I retired. I had access to all this stuff for free. Now I got to buy it. It was all
irritating.
scrap. You know, we just threw it in a box and everybody wanted to take it.
But
So that was my, then I could get resistors and all kinds of crap. Now I don't have access to it anymore, so I got to buy this stuff.
That's
I can't scavenge it anymore.
But in the how-to videos that Ron and I'm dragging my feet, and I'm sorry, but Ron's put together a how-to video that we're building off of, and I'm having Travis Howard help me by building some of these for my Serracho slices. Then we're going to publish a how-to video. So it's going to have a parts list in there, identifying everything that you're going to need, and then the goal is to have everyone display their own, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Any idea how Travis is doing? Is he started or what's going on?
I know he hasn't started because my slices are still in that box.
No.
I told you I'm dragging my feet.
The reason I'm asking is I've had a couple of requests for a how-to, and I said, well, it's not a couple of weeks. You know, people are getting, you know, they know what's coming out and they're getting antsy about it. So
Tell you what, let's you and I talk after the hangout today,
okay,
and we'll address that for sure.
sure.
Chris Colvin joining
What's
us,
up,
my
man?
man. How are you?
How you doing? I'm all right. I'm good. Living life. I'm glad I was able to finally make it to one of these. And after you messaged me, I'm like, I've got a lot going on tonight. Still, I've got a bunch of homework working on my master's and stuff. So I'm like slammed, but whatever. I'm making it.
Yeah. Well, that's what's great. You know, it was cool because Chris and I actually met out in Minnesota. I was visiting a client. In my real life, I sell computers for a living, and I met a client out there, the Goodman Group. Shout out to you, and took time to visit Chris, and also was it Scotty that I met?
Yeah, it was Scott.
Yeah. So, did you have something that you wanted to show off? Because I know you were pressed for time.
I mean, I'm honestly planning on hanging out, man. I'm good just to chat for a bit. I haven't actually been around any Met people for a while now.
Oh.
So got a bit of a story. So I've got one of my first ever meteorites that I got. I want to say, oh god, it looks, I guess I sealed this one. So this is like a teeny tiny 10 gram piece of Hammami. This isn't a great. You can kind of see the olivine in there, but a long time ago, I was actually told, like, you know, I haven't seen it on the market anywhere until fairly recently. Mark Lyon had a piece of it, and he posted it. I'm like, oh man, that's stunning. And the interesting thing about this, the reason why it comes, or the reason why you usually see it this size, is because it was one of the first ones. I shouldn't say one of the first, but it was before, you know, everything started getting an NWA number, and the Nomads smashed it up, and they just made it as small as possible so they could transport it. Well, I got this big to me, but 143 gram slab of it now.
Wow.
And so it's an H56. So it used to be, I believe it was an olivine. It was used to be called an olivine bronzite chondrite. So it's a transition between H5 and H6, but I mean, it's absolutely stunning.
Man.
Nice thick slice.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
is
great.
not only thick and slicey, but look at that heavy metal in there, man.
Yeah, it's insane. And like when you get some nice chondrules just chilling in there throughout, you know, just kind of hanging out, it's incredible. And this by far, I think, is one of the pieces I am most proud of in my collection right now, just because, like I said, not only have I not seen Hammami on the market, I've not seen pieces this size ever, even when I have seen it. And the first time I saw it was right here. I got this guy back in 2015 when I first started collecting. I think it was my 4th meteorite I ever bought. So
Nice.
it was really cool. So I'm actually really happy to get to show this off today.
That is beautiful, dude. It
just
flashes.
You use this thing as a signal mirror. Ever get lost, just pull it out and just
Yeah.
right there.
Well, was it just the Is it actually green that I'm seeing in there, or is it a lighting effect? Because it's
No, that's
really
green.
green.
That is absolutely green. If I could take this one, the smaller piece, that's actually olivine. You can see in that.
Wow.
So that's not like a camera effect or anything. That's
That's
it's incredible.
amazing.
I wish it wasn't. I think it's yeah. It's I don't know what I did to seal it shut, but I did a good job.
That's awesome. Well, I
So,
appreciate you sharing, man. That is
thanks.
definitely a special slice for sure.
Yeah, I was
and
as soon as I saw it, I messaged Mark immediately. I'm like, I want that. I don't care what I have to do to get it. Just make sure I get it.
yeah, and it's a sizable slice, man. And yeah, it's nice when you can stretch your hand around something.
Oh, it's incredible. And then I've also got right now. I just got. Unfortunately, they're not super pretty inside, but I've got two 2.2 kilo chunks of unclassified stuff I'm working on. So we'll see if I feel like trying to pretty it up or not. But then this is its permanent home in a little Riker box. So
nice.
yeah.
And what super special because a lot of the value. If you've seen my video on the valuation of meteorites, one of the S's is story. So you know that it's your fourth meteorite you purchase, and that's like bonus because you're never going to get rid of the smaller slice. You're never going to get rid of the fourth meteorite that you get, and it's a special fall. It's a pre-NWA. It's like stacks upon stacks of coolness.
Yep. I've got a very, very tiny piece of Oasis too that I got as a gift from somebody, and that's never going anywhere. And then my very, very first meteorite, I can't remember. It's one of the NWAs, but it's a beautiful Howardite, super friable. It has not left its little membrane case since I've had it. I paid like way too much for it because I didn't know anybody in the industry at the time. In the industry, I say it weird like that, but I didn't know anybody in the community at the time. And
we're building a community here.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's really cool. But thank you very much for letting me share. I'm glad I got to show that off because I'm excited about it still.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that our schedules finally meshed up because I know you're extremely busy. And just because this time's convenient for me every week doesn't mean it's convenient for everyone else. But I'm glad for the repeat visitors and the flybys like Chris. So awesome.
Dude, I couldn't even make it out to see you when I was down there a couple weeks ago. I felt really bad for that.
Yeah, it was funny. I see that he's posting on Facebook. Hey, I'm in Arizona. I'm like, what the hell? You're in Phoenix, dude?
I was actually in Sierra Vista. I was out at Fort Huachuca.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was because you're in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I'm in Chandler. I'm the only meteorite dealer in Chandler. I know I can say that for a fact. I don't know about Phoenix, so so I'll just leave it as Chandler. Plus, that way, my little slice of Chandler is even more important to me.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Hey, who's next? Who has something they want to show off? Because if not, I have something that I want to show.
I've got some Santa Filomena.
That is, I hear Cameron. And then we're going to go to Pat Brown next. So Cameron, camera on.
Let's see.
And we got Cameron Smith, safe from Storm Sally.
Ooh.
So 16.6 grams, I believe.
Now, does the group know what this is yet?
Oh, this is Santa Filomena.
Yeah.
The brand new Brazilian fall that happened on August 19th.
Nice.
Look at
Looks
that.
good.
Nice crust.
Yeah, great crust.
Beautiful crust, white matrix.
Super fresh inside. Yeah.
Very nice.
Those are some of my favorites, man. I love bright crusts and bright interiors and dark crusts.
That is gorgeous. And the provenance of that one is impeccable as well.
Yeah, I actually have a picture of the kid that found it.
Nice.
Wow. That is a fresh, beautiful, freshy fresh. I mean, you know, it happened on the 19th of last month, and we're only on the 16th of this month.
Not even a month old.
Not even a month old. It was in the cold dead of space. Talking about cold and dead, have I ever talked about my ex-wife? No, I'm joking. Man, that's awesome, dude. Santa Filomena. And it is definitely an H. Can we see a close-up of the matrix? If you can. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. That's phenomenal, man. Awesome. Did you have something else? Or
the only other thing that came with that package was a piece of the tile that the hammerstone broke. So the a plug for Raymond Borges, who I got this from. So I'm not sure if this little, I'll have to ask him if this little blemish on here is just part of the tile or if that's actually meteorite damage.
Oh man, the stories that tile tells.
Right. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's super cool, and that feeds right into what one of the things that I have to show off since we're on Santa Filomena. I actually have mine. Mine just arrived. It's 69, just shy of 70 grams, so it's 69.73 grams. And I'm sorry, Pat, I jumped in line, but I'm stealing it. Thank you. So I as well partnered with Raymond Borges, and this is my treasure. Let me see. This is a truly special one for me. Of the samples that I was shown, this was really the best one in my opinion. It's got great fusion crust.
And is there a shock vein on the opposite side right there? Yep. Back.
This is just a little rollover lip or orientation lip.
Yep, right where your left thumb is on.
No, this right here is just a.
No, down from that. The horizontal.
Right here.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it close enough yet. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's got some relief. Yeah, that looks like the edge of a shock plane.
Definitely.
Wow, I haven't even looked at this thing completely yet, guys.
That goes almost all the way around. Look at that.
We were just talking about shock veins on our last hangout, weren't we?
Right. Nice.
Wow, super score. Yeah, and got a little bit of soil on there. But it does have matrix. I'm hiding the best part. So it has matrix on it, some Brazilian soil, and then something that I absolutely loved for my examples to have. Either secondary crust or melt patch.
Secondary crust, yeah.
It appears to me to be secondary crust. But there's another piece of my stone out there somewhere, is what that tells me.
Yep.
But this is my Santa Filomena.
Yeah. Oh, there's some secondary crust there too. Yeah. So those fractures were towards the end of the incandescent flight, but still within incandescent flight.
And it is magnetic. I mean,
whoa.
Yeah. I mean, that is HH. I mean, they need a new classification, HH. Heavy.
Oh, there's even some iridescence to the crust just above that face. There's a stripe of iridescence there. Now, I have not heard anybody talk about that much more, but I suspect that that is metal vapor deposition back onto the stone that gives that iridescence in the crust. And if that's the case, it will probably corrode like crazy. So might be a good case for handling it with gloves.
Thank you, sir. That's why we have you, our resident scientist. Yeah. So that's part of my my haul. I also have Raymond Borges to thank for getting a piece of the tile roof. Mine doesn't have any marks on it. Mine's just plain, but I will take it. That's going into my Hammer Effects collection. The thing is, I also have a Fresh Falls collection. So where does a curator put Santa Filomena, a Fresh Witness Fall? Like, does it go in my Fresh Witness Falls of 20 collection, or does it go in my Hammer Effects collection? Yeah, I'll figure it out.
First one and then the other.
I'll put half and half. Well, you know what? I do have a saw. No, but this is too beautiful. I'm not cutting. I'm not selling.
Don't do that.
Not cutting. Not selling.
Get a second piece.
Yeah, that voice you're hearing is Roberto Vargas. Roberto went to Santa Filomena and recovered some pieces through his connections there and hunting with the locals and networking like a madman. So
Thank you, Topher, Cameron, and Mike for reminding me. And I still almost missed it because I took a nap and woke up at 8:40. Oh, fuck.
Today, for the first time, I sent out a bunch of blasts on Facebook to people who usually post like, oh man, I forgot, I could have, oh yeah, it was last night. So I just sent out a blast and I got a few people like, oh yeah, thanks. Pat, oh, that reminds me, while we're talking about YouTube, Pat, are you ready?
Yes.
Go to you. Okay, awesome. Everyone, do me a favor, if you're watching this video, so we can get YouTube to prop me up a little bit, subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and YouTube will prop me up, and my watch times are going up, and all that's doing is a super massive knowledge bolide is taking over YouTube. That's the goal. Pat, you're up.
Yeah, so I've got a couple from, some of you have seen these, but a couple from Matt Stream.
Can we ask you to speak up a tiny bit, maybe?
Yeah, sorry. We'll see.
There you go.
Bring the mic over. Yeah, so these are from Matt Stream, and I've shown them once, but Daniel Shank didn't get to see them. It's not focusing super well, but this is a CV3, or well, suspected CV3 that shows some nice CAIs, and I do intend to ask Daniel to classify this one for me. You can see a few CAIs there, especially.
Nice. Yeah, look at that huge one.
That giant one over there.
Yeah, and then there's a really interesting one up here.
Holy cow.
That is pretty good sized. It's 11 or, well, 12 millimeters across, something like that.
Hey,
And,
Pat, are you seeing chondrules in there at all?
Yes, there are some chondrules that are more visible on the back. Between the it still has some of the soil on it that I haven't cleaned away, and it's got a couple of patches of crust. But yeah, there definitely are. You can see kind of down in here. There's some chondrules.
From this angle, it looks like a heat shield.
Yeah, it might be oriented. The thing that's interesting is what would be the back here, though, looks somewhat fractured. So I haven't come down on one side or not about whether that one's glass or whether it's oriented.
That's beautiful. And
then
the provenance of that is Matthew Stream from Streaming Meteorites, one of our good buddies.
yes, yeah, and this one is also from Matt Stream, and this one came off of eBay, and this one is not just a suspected CO3. It's been confirmed by XRF data. Some of you might recognize that form.
Nice. Lane action.
Yeah. So this one will get classified too. So Daniel, we'll have to talk here in the not too distant future.
That is phenomenal. That is a massive CO3, man.
Yeah. Well,
and 200 grams, 250.
No, 442.
Oh.
And well, this is the one that I beat you out on, Topher.
I know. Thanks for reminding me.
This one only worked out to be in 87 cents a gram. So,
and then I made the obligatory, hey, after you made this deal, we can go ahead and partner. And before I could even get it out of my mouth, he was like, no, I'm okay. which I respect.
And then this looks pretty mundane. This is the Coconino sandstone that is underlying the surface of Meteor Crater. And this one was mysteriously collected inside the crater in November. And so this is the unshocked material, and you can see, the layers.
Yeah. And then the crater.
This is the shocked material. And
the layers are brought together.
Layers are all welded together. And so when you start out with sandstone, there's a bunch of quartz in it. And after you hit somewhere around 2 or 3 gigapascals, you start making coesite, which is a pseudomorph of quartz that only exists in high impact situations like that. And then if you get a high enough level of shock, you actually make a different pseudomorph called schistosite. But Dr. Susan Kiefer has, she wrote her thesis on this stuff, and from Meteor Crater. And there's a couple other papers out there that are pretty interesting. At some point when I get to making thin sections, I'll pop out some thin sections of this. But it's kind of interesting, the ordinary unshocked one, was collected inside the crater with a lot of looking over the shoulder, but the parking lot is full of this stuff. So I probably got a shovel.
I remember you tying your shoe.
I was about to say, it's funny how those things just kind of wander out of the crater from time to time. These grow some legs.
Yeah. So the exact the provenance is good. The exact nature of how it all happened is kind of fuzzy, but.
But what's really cool about that, and it's like overwhelmingly obvious to a novice geologist like myself. I mean, I'm not a geologist at all. The first example, the unshocked, is absolutely layered.
Yeah, very, very
100% layered, and doesn't look anything like the sample number 2, in exception of color.
Yeah,
right. And this one is really kind of a dark cream color, and a lot of the other pieces that I picked up out of the parking lot were a lighter, like the color heavy whipping cream, definitely a lighter cream color.
Wow,
but
that's
somebody
awesome.
asked a question on Facebook the other day about coesite. I don't remember who it was right off the top of my head, but it made me think of these and to get those out to look at today.
Nice. And I just love the way you have them displayed on that scientific turntable. I mean,
Yeah, I've been wanting to make one to imitate the NASA one, and at some point Travis and I are going to work together on it. But this one is a stage off of a Nikon polarizing microscope.
Nice.
And I just got it off eBay for, I don't know, 60 or 70 bucks. But the thing is friggin' huge.
Dude, that's not even okay.
that looks so good from this angle.
Right?
And from this low camera angle, you can see it's reversed, of course, but you can see the degree markings and the vernier.
Yeah. Oh, it's not reverse for us. We can read Sharpie on the mark and everything.
Okay. And I was going through my box of scrap plastic stuff, and this is a Delrin plastic flange. When I lived in Washington at one of the garage sales, there was a guy who had worked for Boeing and had a big box of plastic scrap that I got for $5 or something, and a whole bunch of Teflon in it, and apparently this was one that somebody cut the wrong size, but it works pretty well for holding larger stones in there too, because it's beveled, and so it can hold.
Yeah, you can get nice angles you couldn't get without like a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool for photography too, because you get the degrees.
Yeah, and I don't have my photo stuff, my light booth sort of stuff set up right at the moment, but at some point I will. And so it's not exactly like the NASA one, but it's similar.
Very cool, man. All right. Whoops, hold on. Who would like to show off something? I can't stand dead air. In about 2 seconds, I'm going. All right, we got James. See, you got to threaten people to get him. I think you're on mute, James, and I'll shoot over to you. I cannot hear you. Nope. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and show off my item real quick while you find the mute button. Maybe someone could send it to him in chat. That would help out tremendously. This is an item that I showed off on Facebook. And I showed it with enhanced colors. And I asked people to send me a PM and identify what this is. I was blown away at first by the amount of guesses I got, and then they stopped dead. Only one person was able to guess exactly what it is, and he has my total on 100% confidence that he would get it, Mr. Daniel Shake from Florida State University. But does anyone else know what this rare meteorite is? It is not an ungrouped. It is a grouped.
Are those amoeboid olivine?
It is very dense olivine, and this type of meteorite usually contains up to 3% carbon that is transformed into nano or micro diamonds.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll move on to the next hint.
Is it a Ureilite?
Who do we have talking there?
Roberto
Vargas. You are correct, sir. This is my new main mass. NWA 13239 Ureilite. It is 218 of the 275 grams. Top mark meteorites. I gotta throw them some love. I mean, Embark is my friend who works there, owns the place, took care of me. And he is a member of the Meteorite Club. He's a pioneer member, as am I, Topher Spin Meteorites. So the Meteorite Club is an online Facebook group. But he really took care of me on this one. Gave me a fantastic deal and sent a gift along. So much love to Embark.
Nice.
So this is a Ureilite. It is an achondrite. It has very, very high olivine and then magnesium rich or magnesium poor, I forget. But I'm super excited to finally have a good example of a Ureilite. So for all those wondering online, because I told them, hey, trying to drive business to the Hangouts. You want to find out the answer, come to the Hangout, buddy. Hey, James, I see you're functional now, so let me shoot right over to you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I've got a new webcam, and it's got a couple of mics in it, and I just want to make sure that everything's good.
You sound so much better and sexier than last week.
Ah, great, great. Let me preface with what I'm going to show. I'm here in Independence, Missouri, and we have basements here. And I'm currently in the basement, but it was a finished basement until May, and we had a landscaper do some work, and he didn't grade away from the house properly. And I had a water ingress, and we're going to have all the carpet replaced, and you can see in behind some plasterboard away and a crack that's been patched up. But as a result of that, I had to move my whole collection out of the basement, and it's currently boxed up in the garage. But I did find a couple of things that I thought some of you might find interesting and maybe even humorous. They're meteorite related. I have here a flow chart of how to identify a meteorite. Some of you may have seen this before, but I think you'll find it interesting.
Very good.
That simplifies things.
I like it.
That's beautiful.
I've seen about 12th generation copies of a copy of a copy of a copy of that is a meteorite pretty regularly.
I was in Tucson often, but a couple of years ago I met Michael Blood down there, and he was telling me about his new book about meteorite coins, Greek and Roman coins that have meteorites on them. This is his book. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, the Greeks and the Romans worshipped meteorites. They thought that they were a gift from the gods. So they even would take the meteorites and have them etched onto their coins. Can you see that all right? This is one of the Roman rulers. He's sitting on a triangular stone, which is called omphalos. And they would put these meteorites in chariots and haul them around. They were really interesting. This one's dated about 200 years BC.
That's so cool.
Here at the bottom, right here at the bottom in the middle, that white area, that's the meteorite.
That is crazy. We should have meteorites on our coins.
Yeah. Here's another one. Maybe it's a little clearer. Maybe not. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You can see the triangular piece he's sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was painful, though.
I got those on eBay. You can get them. I paid between let's see, $12.50 and $47. Most of the ones that are really defined well go for a couple $100. I'm not into it that big yet, but those are my starter coins with meteorites. Hopefully, when I get my basement back in shape again, I can bring my collection back down, and we can kind of look at some of the other things.
Cool.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in the same boat with you right now, unfortunately. I had a water heater blow up, and I didn't know if I was going to make last week's hangout or not, but half of this wall behind me right here is my sanctity wall, and we didn't have to touch it. No drywall, no nothing. So, but the garage and everything is just from about here down, there's just frame and dried wood. Dry wood is good wood. So I feel your pain. Feel your pain, James. Yeah. A lot of people in the meteorite community are into coins, are into books and print and different items like that. I'm gonna line two people up for show and tell. Who wants to go? Just raise your hands. Well, I'm gonna start talking about something that I think is exciting. I want to bring as much value as I can to these hangouts, and I want them to be as interactive as possible. And I also want them to be as educational as possible, not just a way to spend our time. So I try to bring experts and special guests in whenever I possibly can. This is not my primary job, and this is not even money making. So I ask for everyone to help me. I see Chris Colvin, a amateur extraordinaire astronomer. He's into astronomy. Really, some of the pictures you put online recently, it just blow me away. So one of these times when it's convenient for you, I would absolutely love to have you as one of our special guests to talk about astronomy, how to get into it cheaply, some of the stuff you're able to see out there. Not a huge deal, 20 minutes, show and tell, and you're out. And anyone who has any special skill set, I'd like to invite them to do the same. Awesome. But I also want to roll out a brand new feature of the Meteorite Hangout. It's a weekly new thing, and I want to test this out with you guys and see who likes it and who doesn't. Think of it as a book club for illiterates. I don't read. I watch YouTube videos from reliable sources. So the documentary club would be a 15-minute video on YouTube about a particular subject tied to our interests. It can be nebulous, but tied to our interests. And then it is just a conversation point, something for us to discuss together. I watched 2 documentaries. Let me do a little screen share, see if we can get a little interactive here. Can you guys see this screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I don't know if I turn sound on or not, but you'll see here that I have 2 videos picked. This one would qualify because it's not really, doesn't take a whole lot of time. Do you guys see my mouse moving?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So it's only 11 minutes long, and it's what did NASA's Dawn mission discover on Vesta? You know, we went there. We talk about Vesta all the time. Everyone in this group is, you know, Met heads and head heads, HED, Howardite, Ureilite, and Diagenite fans. So this would be a good video that we could watch together. It talks about the actual impacts on Vesta, how Vesta was formed. The Dawn mission all out there, how potentially our Earth was formed. So it touches on a good amount of subjects. Here's another one that I highly recommend, but I wouldn't make it part of the unless you guys are totally into it. It's a 55-minute, The Last Men to Walk on the Moon, the untold story of Apollo 17. If you can watch this video and not totally want to go to the moon or just like look at your moon collection, your lunar collection, then you don't have a pulse because it moved me. And then the next week we can get together, and anyone who watches the replay will get the link to the video. Everyone here will watch the video. It's not a big time investment, but if we have an interactive discussion, or at least a topic we can discuss.
Right.
I think that's a
You
good
might have an
idea.
issue with copyright if you're using somebody else's video in your video.
Oh, it's not going to be in my video. All I'm going to do is shoot the link to you. Well, and it's not me. It's anyone in the group submits a video, 15 minutes or so on a related topic. I want this to be as interactive and group. If it's of interest to you, let's watch it. So that's something that I want to roll out. If you want, I will send out the link to the 11-minute. I'm going to send links to both, but for the documentary club for next week, we're going to be discussing the Dawn mission to Vesta, and then the information we gleaned from that, and that will be a great lead into show and tell of your V-type or V-type meteorites. It's a new term I learned. They're Vestan, so V-type meteorites, which are HEDs. So everyone kind of on board with that idea?
Yeah,
Nice.
sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea.
Nice, awesome. Because I want to make this as educational as possible, so and group involved as possible. So please submit to me any video that you want to put in the rotation, and I just want valid, verified sources. That's all I ask. This is not about moon hoaxes or 9/11 hoaxes. Who has some show and tell?
Not so much lectures from prestigious universities concerning meteorites, because they usually run for an hour plus. So that would be too long.
Yeah, I really don't want to have everyone to have a massive assignment that's time consuming. It should be a quick intro to a cool subject that just opens up the conversation for us.
Well, I had an idea about something that might be interesting, but for everybody who's already deeply versed in meteoritics, it would probably be boring. And that's the ABCs of meteorites, sort of like a starting place for if you had new viewers, people just joining, maybe just starting a collection.
That
but
feeds
that's
in.
segregation. That's segregating the rest of the members.
Well, no, because that's okay though, because that feeds into another request that I've had, and that is for newer collectors or newer enthusiasts. How do you select your meteorite dealer? And I want to be careful how I go about this, because you should only select Topher Spin Meteorites as your meteorite dealer. I mean, come on. But so it was brought to me like, hey, how can we make newer people feel comfortable and confident that they're picking a trusted source, getting trusted material, getting trusted advice, and getting a good value. We're not talking price, we're talking value, always on meteorites. So that's been a request that was made. So I think those two will tie in nicely. So that will definitely be a subject matter that'll tie together into one hangout soon to follow.
Excellent.
All right.
I
Anyone
might
want
be
to
a
show
devil's
some?
advocate on that and be like, hey, me personally, I consider myself dealer agnostic. Like, I feel like, if I can hop around, I feel like, then again, I've also been doing it for 5 years. So I did, you're right. I did have one or two people I went to when I first started, but eventually you'll become dealer agnostic.
Yeah. You have to kind of chase the material, to be honest with you. Because I'm a meteorite dealer extraordinaire. As you can see, well, hold on, let me go this way. But I can't carry everything, and I don't specialize in everything. Like, I'm not going to get into huge amounts of carbonaceous stuff. I'm not invested in the science of keeping them fresh. I don't have nitrogen chambers, so I'm not doing that. I don't chase the new falls. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't do historic falls. So there's a place for everyone, and no one has to fight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm all about pumping up my friends, like, Chris. Yeah, you're a collector and a dealer. Once you collect enough, you start dealing. I mean,
it's inevitable. It's inevitable. If you want to sustain the hobby in any realistic way, shape, or form, selling helps.
Well, there is an alternative to that. If you stay single, you don't have to explain any meteorite purchases at all. I've actually been collecting for 33-ish years.
Wow.
And I've only ever sold one meteorite.
Really?
Wow.
Back in the day, and I keep forgetting his name, the dealer in Alaska that's been there forever. It'll come to me. But anyhow, he sold me a Cameldonga meteorite, and this is back in the old days before NWAs and Sahara 99 XXX and such. But he sold it to me, and then it turned out that one of his special clients needed it for something, and so I sold it back to him. But that's the only meteorite I've sold in 30 plus years. I've given away hundreds of them to school kids and such. But
that's cool. I think the biggest one I regret getting rid of was Murchison, because there was another Met that I wanted, and I still every night, it was a 3-gram chunk and like nothing extremely special, but still kick myself every night for that, because I will never find Murchison ever again at the price that I paid for that, or the price that I sold it for.
Yeah, there were several of us that bought Murchison at Tucson this year, and we got a special group deal. I think it was it 200 or 225 a gram?
200.
Okay.
Wow.
200.
Wow.
Shameless plug, that discount was due to the buying power of the Meteorite Mansion, sponsored by Topher Spinat. No, actually we had a bunch of sponsors for that one, including Streaming Meteorites, Jurassic Dreams, the Meteorite Club, John Higgins Outer Space Rocks. I mean, it was a group effort. So when we walk into a dealer and we're all putting our rocks up there, we're not getting the normal price everyone was.
Yeah, thanks again. There's Murchison in my cabinet because of that.
I might be reaching out to one of you guys pretty soon if there's. I mean, do any of you here have any for sale?
I have a slice that I'm not emotionally tied to.
I might shoot you a message later.
I think it's like 1.3 grams, but it comes from a meteorite shop in Australia, and
awesome.
Also thanks to Oz Backman, my good buddy. It comes with his gift to me of a Murchison stamp, so I will pass that gift along.
Yeah, that is a nice slice.
Yeah.
Topher, you showed that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I had a fall in the kitchen today, so I can't really walk that well. Thus, I have my cane right here. Otherwise, I'd make the trek, the 6-foot trek, which is like 1.5 miles right now to my cabinet. But I did manage to grab something that Chris may recognize.
Uh-oh, you put me on the spot. Hey! Nice.
Remember that, Puffy?
Yep.
That's why I love having that's why the meteorite community is really a community to me. This
11805 polymixed diogenite.
Nope.
No?
Not a diogenite.
Which one is that?
It's a Molly Howardite. It's NWA 11899. Yeah. And the good thing about this one is it comes from Dustin Dickens, a friend, to Chris Colvin, a friend, to me. And now I have other pieces of Howardite, so this one's available to another friend. If someone would like a piece of a rubble pile from asteroid Vesta, Or tell you what, watch the video first and then buy this. Nice crust on it. Yeah. So that's
One of my favorite. Oh, sorry.
That's one thing I always do with my personal items is and everything is just make sure that I have serial numbers on them, provenance documented, everything. Take it away.
I was just gonna say one of my favorite things about that, if that's is that one of the ones that has some of the metal impactors in it still?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about that entire classification.
Oh, let me show this off.
It's so funny because I mean, it's very, very weakly magnetic, but there are certain like little nubs and nodules.
There's spots. Look at that. Yeah, there's spots on a Howardite where it is just magnet. There's one right there. Oh, I can't get in there, but yeah, there's different little spots where the magnet just is drawn to. But
yeah, speaking of which, this is 11273, and I don't know if you can see it, but near, yeah, you can see it just in that little notch there.
Yeah,
there's a little round nickel iron blob.
That's cool. I have a very, very small slice of that, and I have a very teeny piece of one in there as well, but nothing like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is a beautiful piece.
This one's quite thin. This was Nakla Dog did this classification, and Marvin Sills from Montana Meteorite Labs did the cutting on it with a wire saw. And
nice.
That's one surface of that is right off the saw, and then just a little polishing on the other side. But yeah, some of the wire saw work that's going on is pretty amazing. Marcin Simla in Poland, Matt, is building his own, and I think at some point he's going to be selling them as well. But
is that the green monster? There's one with a green frame.
No, I think that's the Bulgarian fellow. I don't know how you say his name in Bulgarian, but it decodes to George.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about trading. I did do a little meteorite trading with ET. When I bought the big Gibeon from him, it came with a few other meteorites, and one was a 60-gram piece of the Willamette meteorite, and it was one that there was some shale in the hole, and one of the dealers there went and dug through the hole that they pulled it out of, and this one was a piece about yay big that was maybe a half-inch thick.
Willamette?
Say again?
How do you say the name of it? Willamette?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those Indian names that's American Indian name.
That's the huge one that little kids are sitting in?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it was 60 grams, and I traded it back to ET for a 114-gram Allende, which,
oh my gosh,
really nice little meteorite. But I think 60 grams of Willamette is probably worth more than 114 grams of Allende.
That's why I clarified exactly what we're talking about, because that is a historic meteorite, and like, not only are there like famous pictures of it, if you there's pictures of 1930s or 1912, whatever, kids sitting in this thing in a museum, and it gives you scale. It's massive, and it's unobtainable. It was fought over while it was still on the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were dragging it around and fighting over it. Landed in my state. Glaciers took it to yours. Your wagon took it to mine.
Had a really interesting history. It was sitting on a piece of land that belonged to a mining company, and one of the neighbors found it and built a super stout cart and drug it over to his property, and there was a big court case that went on back and forth, and then after it was it was property of the mining company, and they wound up selling it to a wealthy woman who bought it and then donated it to the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. So that's how it made it there. And there actually, if you go and look at it, there actually is one corner that they cut off, and so there are some slices of it, and they occasionally come on the market, but it's like $150 a gram craziness. So
was the mining company claiming mineral rights on the meteorite?
yeah, well, the way those laws work in the United States is that meteorites are considered to be of the land. So
Right.
if it lands on your property, then it's yours. And this one has some skullduggery of the neighbor building a cart and dragging it back onto his property. Yeah, it went to court, and it was eventually found. The story was clarified that yes, this guy had in fact taken it off of the neighbor's property.
I have a story about that museum. I was there a few years ago, and I was looking at the Cape York that they have there. And I wanted a photo of me next to the Cape York. So I stood there, and there was the piece the sample that they had taken off to analyze right over my shoulder. And I asked this gentleman who I didn't know to take my photo. And he took it, and then I said, I have a piece of this meteorite. And he looked at me, and he looked at that area where it had been cut off, and he said, I won't tell anybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of ridiculousness per gram, has nobody bought that new Moroccan fall for $250 a gram yet?
No. I'm avoiding
250.
Like
someone was trying to get 500 for per gram for 20 grams the other day.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Busted up pieces. Yeah, it's like okay.
What's funny is I allowed it on my Facebook page. I have a commercial page, Topher Spin Meteorites, and I also have a Topher Spin group, which is more participation and science and jokes and stuff. But I had that submitted to me, and I was like, approve and post.
Well, and yeah, there was also on the Hoaxster page, and there was some kid selling it on one of the pages that I took down. Somebody is faking that meteorite and trying to sell, much larger pieces, but trying to get in on the ridiculous dollars per gram.
Was that the Martian one? He was trying to fake it as the Martian meteorite, a Shergottite?
No, this one was it's not been classified yet. It fell in Arashida. It was a fresh fall a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and it's not classified yet.
On 825.
It's CM2 like,
but has no visible chondrules.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, the guy that I'm talking to about over there, I told him my max price, I'd be willing to pay for it. And he's like, well, that's not what it is. But he was trying to tell me it's C2. I'm like, that's not what anybody else is saying.
Well, it's probably going to turn into some weird ungrouped something. Right. But apparently the work is done, and it's sitting in front of the NomCon.
Okay.
That's phenomenal.
I have a question. Does anybody know anything about a iron coming out of Kenya called a Marsabit? I've seen it on YouTube or on eBay. It's supposed to be being classified. I'm considering buying a slice. I've never heard of it. I can't find it anywhere.
Not even familiar at all to me.
I've I've heard of it. I've seen it. I haven't looked into it, but I tend not to buy anything pending classification unless it's from someone I know.
Okay.
Or with a scientist that I know.
This guy is Mikhail 1010.
I have a cheat sheet
I don't know
to
anything about
convert.
it, but I'm considering that it looks a lot like a Campo. I'm just wondering.
That's the fear.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny story about that. We had a little special friend stop by last week, Juan, with Jurassic Dreams, and there was an iron that was found in the NWA dense area, and he bought it and put it online saying, hey, I'm getting this thing classified. And sometimes the meteorite community can be pretty harsh. They don't have, some people don't have filters. Some people get along better with rocks than humans. And my friend Juan was lit up and basically was belittled for buying a compo masking as an NWA. Now, for those on YouTube that may not know, compo could be as cheap as 50 cents, 30 cents a gram versus a new NWA iron. Depending on what it looks like on the inside, you could be talking $5 to $7 a gram, prep and sliced. And he took it and proved them wrong with Dr. Tony Irving. It is a brand new NWA undiscovered iron, a find. So that's the classification is either official. It's at the non-com right now. So he's going to have the last laugh when everyone gets to see his NWA number on his compo.
What, you said that's an iron right now? Because I had somebody reach out and ask where was this iron from?
Yeah, it's supposed to be out of Kenya. It's called a Martian iron. So I'm looking at it, and it's a nice enough little slice. It's about 300 something grams, which is the size I like to get. And it was on there. A guy came back and made me a special offer because I've had it on my watch list. And I'm considering getting it, but I need to know something more about it. I'm not familiar with the seller, who's in some Eastern European country. Let me see where he's at here.
Yeah, we just had someone shoot out some information in the chat. And Ron, I asked that I have a cheat sheet that I've compiled over a couple of years that translates who people are on eBay to who they are in real life, and what their certifications are, what their email, phone number, things like that. So if I can help in any way, turn it into a human, let me know, because we all love when eBay and PayPal take 14% of, so, we want to support our good friends at eBay and PayPal, but I will definitely help you out, connect with the human.
Okay, yeah, he calls himself Mikhail 1010.
Yeah.
And I don't see a name
Says
here.
he's only been a member of eBay since 30th of March 2010.
Yeah, he's not been around very long.
Yeah. Well, but there's only 2 irons in the Met Bowl from Kenya, and
yeah, this one hasn't been classified yet. It's in classification, it says. He's in Lithuania. That's where he's at.
Yeah, so that'd make it only the 3rd one.
Well, what I would do then is connect with him on eBay and ask him for who's classifying it, how far along is in the process. If he can get you a backscatter scanning electron microscope picture of it, or some chemical analysis from a lab that you trust, those would be the first steps, I would say, because that's part of the question that was raised. How do you go about buying a meteorite from an unknown source, or how do you pick a dealer? How do you put a price tag on what something's worth? So fits right in with what we were saying. I think it would be good to try to find as much about the classification process. If it's already in place, he should have something that he can give you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his information. It's like he does sell minerals and meteorites and, you know, some of the other things.
Yeah.
And because he is paying for that lab work, so please let him know that redactions are at his discretion. Because when I'm paying for lab work, I'm not sharing my lab work with anyone that I don't want to. I'll redact what I want, if that helps the deal go through.
Okay, good.
The other
That's
avenue.
good advice.
Oh, sorry. The other avenue too for identifying new irons is looking for trace elements in the XRF data, especially the platinum group. You know, relative abundances of the platinum group things. You ought to be able to find that data for Campo de Cielo, and that would be useful.
All right, that's all good advice. Thanks.
Not necessarily foolproof, but useful.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying. So I've been burned a couple of times, not often, but you know, I've had to threaten to get my money back. But especially on an Altai I bought, it's just disintegrated my hand literally. I'm being a little more careful. I don't know. You know, you guys I'd buy from in a split second, but you know, these guys have no idea who he is.
Well, when you go to Tucson or you spend much time on the internet buying from, I've never bought anything directly from Morocco over the internet.
Yeah, I've kind of ruled out China for good. You know, China.
There is some major crime going on.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Farmer, and even at the big shows that are you know, sanctioned by the Communist Chinese Party over there, there are lots and lots of people selling things for hundreds of thousands of dollars and up that are obvious fakes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you want some Allotype that doesn't fall apart in your hand, I know a guy.
I've got two pieces. The story on this one was I ordered a 216 gram piece, and you know, I posted this on Facebook. But when I got, you know, he showed a very nice picture. You know, it was all a nice solid piece. When I got it, about a third of the end of it fell off of my hand. It just crumbled to pieces.
Oh my gosh!
It's obviously been in plastic and it's humid. So I was able to, you know, I built an electrolysis tank. So normally I don't do slices, I do the whole stones, but I threw this in there, I had nothing to lose. So I threw it in there for about a week, and man, it was bubbling like crazy. It was, And so I took it out after about a week, and I ground off some of the, you know, the remaining little remnants. It's been stable now for about a year. So in the meantime, I sent the pictures to the guy what I had. He refunded my money, but didn't want the rock back. So essentially, I got about 150 grams left, and it's stable. It's sitting on my shelf right now, and it looks pretty good. It's not great, but it's okay. And I got it for free, essentially. So
when it comes to displaying stuff,
you know,
it's all about, you know, what side you show.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because I mean, I'm going to show this side. I'm not going to show this side. Holy shit! What happened?
Oh, good Lord, what happened to that?
I have no idea.
Why is one side good and the other side not?
This side's coated. This side's not.
Coated. There you go.
That's another reason to seal your iron meteorites.
Yeah, that looks like Lorenzite.
Yeah.
Chlorine.
This is what's left over of the.
Horrible.
This is the Allotai that I bought, and it was about this end right here used to come straight out and about here. All that just literally fell off of my hand.
Oh my gosh!
And so this part right here is what's left, and as you can see, there's no rust on it. It's clean. It's, it's not the prettiest rock, but
what do you have it sealed with anything?
Yeah, I used some of that, the Paleo Bond.
Yeah.
That I bought a can of it a couple of years ago. It lasted a long time.
Yeah. Quick advice for Paleo Bond: do not shake it. Just to let everyone know, it puts bubbles in it. Yes, do not shake it.
I shake it.
It's not supposed to be shaken. It puts bubbles in it, and then you're spraying those bubbles onto your piece. You'll get a much finer finish when you don't spray it and clean the nozzle between pieces, or at least leave it on the shelf.
Fixing to be on the internet in a second, so I need y'all.
Nice. Yeah, usually, because it's spray paint, it's essentially a double coating.
I can see you right now.
All the time.
Yeah, that's the normal thing you do is just take it. No, but don't. I want to show off another item, and then I'm taking a suggestion of who wants to show something off. I would like you guys to try to identify what this is.
Okay.
Let me get a really good shot of it.
Looks like an impact melt.
Hydrothermally altered lunar. That I can't pronounce the name of it.
You are correct, sir.
Oh,
Holy snapdragons! We have a stud on our hands, man. Yeah, I can't say it either. Tisserlutinite or Tisserlutinite.
Tisserlutinite level 1, yeah.
Yeah. So this, I'll tell you what, man. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it, Embark. This was the gift with my Ureilite, a lunar that I've been wanting, a very unique lunar. I mean, I would not have even thought of that being a lunar. I would call that, like, if I had to guess, I'd be looking more in the CK region of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very significant meteorite too, in that unless I'm wrong, I think it's the only meteorite that we've seen hydrothermal modification of. One of the real easy rules for identifying meteorites is if you see anything that looks like a quartz vein or anything like that, hydrothermally altered process is one that requires liquid water, a temperature gradient, and something that can dissolve into the water that's transportable.
I was hearing lately though that I think it was altered on Earth though. I don't think that was bare body origins.
Okay.
I believe.
All right. That makes sense. I hadn't heard anybody explain how that happened on the moon yet, because
not that much water, but I'm really happy with that. That was a very pleasant surprise in the box of my Ureilite. So that was a really, really cool surprise, and the COAs are laminated. I love documents and laminated crap. Yeah, sign me up.
I got something I'll show you later. I don't have it with me right now, and my kids are upstairs trying to sleep, but I'll show you something really cool.
Nice. We have Juan. You need to teach me, please, how to say your last name.
Hello, Topher. How are you? Juan Aviles.
Aviles. Awesome. I just call you my crazy Spaniard friend. Yeah. Juan's joining us from Spain, and he's with Jurassic Dreams team there.
Nice. Looks much brighter there than it is here right now.
Yeah. What time is it there right now? It's like probably 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock.
Oh, right here in Spain, right now it's 3, close to 4 o'clock in night.
You're an animal. I love it.
Man.
You're breaking up right there. What'd you say, bud?
In pajama. To sleep.
Nice. Well, it makes this next question seem really odd and awkward, but do you have anything you want to show us?
I have some things to show you. If you want later, I show you some interesting things that I have close here.
I would love to see. We were talking earlier about the new Moroccan fall, the carbonaceous, and I just need you to say carbonaceous because I love the way you say it as well.
Yes, the situation every day is more crazy. Today, not too much good news actually, because some Moroccan people is beginning to wetting the material. So in that way, they try to make more heavy and with more weight. So some people is destroying his own material by wetting. They think that they will maybe with what.
Yeah, this material is very water is very detrimental to it. So even the moisture of people's fingers is destroying, or at least has activity on the carbonaceous meteorite. So what they're trying to do is scam people by making it moist, by putting moisture in it, and they're basically making it crumble.
Absolutely. Even with a low quantity of humidity in the environment, it begins to be quickly to be dust, like dust.
Wow.
Small fragments. So it's better to keep them really far away from water, even swept. So don't touch with hands. But the most part of the fall, the interesting thing is this fall like a rain of gravel or rain of small teeny. So the main mass is actually thousands and thousands of teeny oriented fragments, and there are a few complete ones with larger size. So it's an exciting type of fall. The nature of this type of rock is so fragile, so friable. So like a rain of small fragment and only a small some other big ones, but the most part is this thousands and thousands of this material. So anyway, it's an amazing situation right now, and we hope to know results soon, and we find out what happened with this material.
Yeah. Now you've already gotten some of the material out of Spain to the hands of scientists.
Yes, right now they are working on this project for different researchers, Tony, Lawrence Garvey, Carl Yates, and Daniel Seck. On my part, all that I could help is getting Daniel some samples as quickly as possible. I sent 5 grams a few weeks ago. And I also helping him getting some thin sections already made, because he saves time and money. So if he can do it, I do. So I'm working with my friend Jose Garcia from the Museum of Meteorites from Canarias. That is a really good petrologist, and he also made every day a lot of these sections. And he was one of the first ones that made a thin section of this beautiful new carbonaceous. We hope to know some results as soon as possible. But the thing that I can say, it's an absolutely amazing new material, and it seems that doesn't fit so well in any of the carbonaceous rocks. So we will see what happens. But we are trying to help. On my part, I'm trying to help as much as possible the quickly project of classification. But that's the thing that I done.
Oh, I've honored your request, your hard request. Sent me some beautiful pictures, some very close-up microscopic pictures of this material, and I've not said a word to anyone. The only things I've shared are things you share with me publicly. This is a very water deteriorating, a highly magnetic carbonaceous fall. Tiny, many oriented little beads and peas are being found. So it's really cool to have you near there. I'm not gonna give anything away, but really glad to have you report in on that. Do you have any that you can show us real quick?
Sorry, what?
Do you have any of the carbonaceous that you can show us?
Sure, I'm selecting some of them. Let me to change the camera. All of these small same separate. So all of them are small. I'm going to choose maybe, for example, this one, for example. Let me one moment.
Yeah, probably wants to put on some gloves.
Let me.
And this one's from Spain?
No, this is the Moroccan fall.
Oh, this is the Moroccan one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Moroccan.
The Moroccan
fall. I was about to say, I thought I missed something for a minute. I'm like, hold up.
They're small.
Wow.
And they're all oriented.
Yes, they are. The most part of the teeny fragments are completely oriented.
This is crazy.
I'm going to show you something interesting because last day I was doing some pictures, some close pictures, and maybe I can show you some of. Let me no. Sorry, a lot of. Okay, for example, I'm going to show you. Let me one moment. For example, this one. It's okay. Let me have a lot of pictures. Okay, to make this bigger. Okay. For example, right here, I don't know if you can see, this is a super macro picture of one of the small teeny fragments.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Holy cow.
It's got a full ring around it almost.
Yes, all the small ones seems to be shit, but if you do a close pictures are absolutely amazing.
Beautiful texture.
So, for example,
the trailing side
let me show you
bubbly too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This is the cube of Toffer.
There you
it's
go.
very useful, Toffer.
I love seeing that.
Oh my
this
god.
One is
what
window
sort
web.
of prices are you seeing in the field for this
I
material?
was just about to ask.
Look at that.
We've heard all sorts of crazy offers.
You see, you can see a big Kai right there. Right there, a big Kai.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it's really.
But this is small. See the
right.
Let me. Okay, right here. Okay, let me show you some other one. I have some other specimens that are so beautiful.
Juan, if you had to estimate what this would be going for, like a good price to shoot for from a collector point of view, what kind of price tag would you put on this material? I know you're out there hunting it and fighting with people over it, but us as collectors, what do you think we can expect price-wise? Well, I think we might have lost him. His internet connection was getting slower and weaker and slower, and I think we might have finally dropped off. But
those were some amazing photos he was showing.
They were.
Yeah, and I can't even.
I think I lost you. Sorry, I lost you.
Here we are.
Bob.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. Before you so rudely dropped out. We were asking. I don't know if you can hear me right now. Dang it. Well,
there he is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to ask. Can you hear me, buddy? Juan?
Yes. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, absolutely. We'll give it one more try.
Okay.
If you were to, well, you know, it says your internet's low, but if you were to put a price goal for us as collectors here in the United States at this frozen moment in time, what do you think a price goal for us per gram on that would be?
It's right now it's a complicated to establish which will be the width, because right now until that moment we are still suffering the movement of the price in the ground. So we must, I think, honestly, that we must wait the final classification when the meteorite will be submitted to the Met Pool. Probably we can compare if there is something similar, or if not, so we will can validate all of the circumstances that we will allow us to establish a correct price. Right now in the round, the average price in the field is like now close to 150, 160, 170. It depends so much on the holder. Some people hold material, but they don't know his value, so they are afraid about sell cheaper or sell expensive. So right now, I think there is still not possibility to establish a correct retail price, but we will know very soon. But I think it's unique and it's rare, but it's a carbonaceous, so it's not Martian or it's not Lunar. So,
well, one of the things, like on that thread we were making fun of earlier, someone was trying to sell it for, you know, a lot of it, not a lot, but a lot of it for $10,000. It was like $500 a gram, and you know, it's just not going to happen. I mean, we're talking about the most famous carbonaceous fall, CM2 Murchison. You know, that doesn't even demand those kind of prices right now. You know, sliced it may, but it's really interesting. Like if I had the chance right now to buy in at $150 a gram, it seems outrageously stupid. But what if it turns out to be the new Murchison? What if it's worth $1,000 a gram in 5 years? You know?
Yeah, that's true. And one important thing is also that there is a small total known weight mass, but there is thousands and thousands of teeny fragments. So in that case, even if the total known mass is not too much, there is a lot of thousands of small samples. So probably the market will be flooded in the coming months with small samples. Mm-hmm. The good ones and the big ones probably will be the expensive ones finally, because the small ones, there are subgrams, there are thousands of them in the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, that works out for the finders and the buyers, because they can get a high price per gram and I can buy a small piece. So I'm all in favor of that.
Yeah, keep us up to date, Juan, if you would, on your progress there. We're interested in following that one. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Welcome to the perfect fall of the micro collector.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Juan can be reached through Facebook chat as well. He's under Jurassic Dreams. Or just reach out to me. I'll put you in charge. But all the stuff that not all the stuff, it may be for clients already, but he is a dealer. So the material he's hunting and gathering right now will be going to market. And I like sharing the wealth and helping out my friends. So I would appreciate if you guys are looking for this fall. I cannot back Juan hard enough. The provenance, I mean, he's there fighting for it right now. I mean, so you can always go back and watch these videos and know that it's the real deal. Does anyone have something they'd like to show off for us?
I have something to offer. I need help. If something can help me, I don't know if you remember, I bought in the Meteorite Mansion in Tucson with you at some Moroccan guy, a beautiful piece. Can help me because I think it's classified, but I'm sure you will remember that software. Let me 1 moment, please. Okay. You remember that?
Yes. Hold on.
It's the one that have the fresh fusion crust and with some contraction marks, and seems like type 3, big chondrules. But I don't know if this one is classified or not, because I can be in contact with the original holder. So I don't know if someone knows something about this.
Wow, I will have to look back over my videos and figure out if I can find out what that was. Because if it went down at the Meteorite Mansion, we probably got it on film.
Yes.
And if I have it on a video somewhere, I can find it, a name or a number or a date. Because it looks fresh. So
I've never seen anything like that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some nice stuff.
There was some potentially some video artifacting in there too. Digital.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah, no, he was getting some down resolution because of the slow internet.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you guys something that, again, I don't want, the goal is not for these things to turn into a sales pitch by any stretch, but I want to show you something that I think is really cool that most of us may already have, but you don't have it like this. This is, oh, that's really zoomed in. There we go. So this is whatever, NWA 366, I don't know, whatever it is. It's paired because it was purchased from the same nomads that the main mass from that Dustin purchased from. So what I have are individuals. Everyone has slices, but do you have individual poikilotic shergottites?
Nice.
So I put some of these up on my Facebook page the other day, but I just think they're so unique looking.
Absolutely.
So this one is like 2.116 grams, but
wow,
you can totally see the texture and why it looks like it looks when it's cut. So that's one of them. I'm going to show off one more. This one is 2.13 grams. So what I find when I show Mars to most people, besides them being blown away, is they're surprised it's not red. And, you know, just to clarify, Mars is red, but that's the outside layer of oxides that have interacted with what little atmosphere there is. But the rocks underneath, when you cut them inside, they're not red. But this is the poikilotic shergottite. The herzolytic poikilotic shergottite. Those are some words I never thought I would just have roll off my tongue. You definitely learn a lot of code words and scientific words and whatnot. I am going to offer it up for the last time around the room. If you like.
I have one topic that I'd like to talk about. In doing the lapidary stuff, I have been talking with, I won't mention his name, but he's one of the guys who runs one of the big lapidary companies, and they display and sell there at Tucson. And I asked him what he thought was going to happen with Tucson for next year.
Oh, yeah.
And
this is so important. I'm going to ask you to talk into the mic a little bit more.
Yeah. So the question was that I posed to him was, you know, what do you think is going to happen with Tucson for 2021? And he said, of course, you know, there's a bazillion variables, and because there's, you know, people from all over the planet, including China and Africa and you know, a bunch of the places out in the middle of nowhere from Africa. And so, you know, even if there's a vaccine available, you don't know whether it's going to be available in Mali very quickly or anything. But his guess was that there might be as much as a 40% chance that there will be a show of sorts. I don't think we can count on a lot of the Northwest Africa people who, you know, who come over to sell, but if it's very typical with especially the NWA dealers, that if they have any leftover material at the end of the show, they will not ship it back. They'll keep it here in Tucson someplace. And so I think, you know, there's some significant possibility that maybe material that dealers, you know, who can't travel to Tucson themselves, but have material here, that they may find somebody locally in Tucson to sell it. So it was interesting to hear his thoughts on it, and you know, I was wondering, you know, how that's going to play with the economy in Tucson. The gem show is
a massive thing. It's a massive thing that takes over the entire city. It's not just a show contained. It's 22 or 28 shows all around the city, different pop-up shows.
Yeah, and our, you know, our meteorite show is a tiny fraction of the fossil and mineral specimen show, which is a tiny fraction of the whole gem fair. But he said about 40% chance.
Well, as far as the Meteorite Mansion for 2021 goes, it's sad news, but I'm officially announcing the Meteorite Mansion for 2021 will not exist. It will be the Meteorite Motel. I'm going to get as many rooms together as I possibly can. One room for rocks, one room for me, and the other for all my buddies to come do whatever you guys want to do, hang out with me, show each other rocks off and trade. And I do take cash. So.
Yeah, that's much more scalable.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, I'm not a gambler. I'm a very very calculated man about most things, and just when I come down to it, I didn't have a hard time filling the house last year, but I didn't overstuff it to make profit. This year, everyone would have a valid excuse to pull out, leaving me with a $7,000 bill, and I just can't do that. So for the safety of my company's existence, I'm going to forego that and make it the Meteorite Motel. And we're all, whether you stay at the hotel or not, the Topher Spin Meteorite Room will be open to rest, to laugh, or to show off. So, and on that note, because I'm only 2 hours away from Tucson, I will be going. No matter how reduced it is, I will be there. I will be stocking up on inventory, making connections, seeing old friends if they're there. And if anyone has any special needs or wants, if you're not traveling there, I do also, it's not a paid service, but I do also offer personal shopping. So if you're looking for a nice slice of Gibeon or something like that, I can go there. I can show you pictures. I can negotiate the best deal with the person. I'll throw on my little finder's fee and my time fee and get it off in the mail to you.
Do you have a location for the motel yet, or is it still kind of up in the air?
I honestly just made the decision to pass on the house 2 days ago, and I haven't emotionally recovered from that yet.
Yeah, most dealers I deal with are in the same room every year, so yeah, I know where they are at.
Yeah, well, this wouldn't be those dealer rooms. When the dealers buy a room at a show, they have to reserve it for the entire show, and sure, it ends up being $7,000 to $10,000 anyway. What I'm talking about is I'm going to be there for this 4-day weekend and then this 4-day weekend, okay, and just doing what I can, Friday through Monday type thing,
Okay.
And hopefully if anyone's there, they're traveling on the weekend so they can monopolize Friday through Monday with me.
And Topher, are you thinking about a hotel that's more up in near Marana, or not necessarily one of the ones in Tucson?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be the most budget priced, convenient for the show. We have vehicles and we don't mind driving a few miles for a little bit of the luxuries in life.
Yeah, there's some quality in sort of places in Marana and even a little closer to Tucson than that are $100 a night sort of thing, instead of so the hotel where they normally have all the Tucson or all the meteorite dealers, the inn and suites, rooms there, if you can even get one, were, I think they were 300 or 335 a night. Wow. on the second floor, and there's no elevator. They're just steps. Yeah, so the close-in hotels are crazy. One year, many years ago, I went with a friend, and I found a hotel that was $100 a night that was walking distance to all of the big show hotels, and it wasn't one of the show hotels, but it was close in. And it turned out, got to the hotel, and a little late, turned down the bed, and the sheets were full of tiny livestock. Hey. Oh, no. So I taped one of the bed bugs to a piece of paper, took a photo of the health, the phone numbers of the health department in Tucson, and marched back out to the front desk, and we had some discussion about the money that was prepaid for the hotel room.
Oh my God. Well, I can't guarantee we're going to have 4 or 5-star accommodations, but I can pretty much assume no cockroaches will be found at the Meteorite Motel.
This one, it was the hotel supposedly had just changed hands. But before that, it was one of the no-tell motels with, hourly rates and so forth. And so normally it would be a $30 a night or a $25 a night hotel, which during the show means it's $100 a night.
Truckers welcome.
Hey, Juan, what you got going on, man?
Regarding this issue of Tucson, on my part, and probably all the international people, principally Europe, we will find a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of complications to go there, because we still can't travel to United States. I must to check if it's for business reasons it's possible, because I have also my company there in America, but I think it will be very complicated to get this show profitable this year. Anyway, Topher, if possible and your president allows me, I will be there, because I already have rent in Marketplace a small booth. So I will be also visiting you and all the Meteorite friends in the Meteorite Motel. So I only must to have the authorization to travel.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah, you know what? Last year I went all out, and it was a little much. I had gift bags and everything. I mean, it was perfect. I mean, like here's one example right here.
Yep.
So this year it may be I may give like Pat's Blue Ribbon beers out and tank tops and say, I beat my wife, but she likes my rocks. I don't know. Well, hey everyone, I'm really glad you guys joined us today. I'm going to cut it off for today. Anyone who wanted to show something that didn't, I'm sorry. Join us next week. I'm going to send out the link to the documentary of the week, which is the Vesta and Dawn Explorer. And if everyone can get off mute for a second, we're all going to yell goodbye to everyone. Appreciate everyone showing up today. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good to see everybody.
Chris,
See y'all later.
See you guys.
See you, man.
See you.